Today we will be working and finishing our cardinal bird and our winter scene and tree. We will be adding black lines, adding texture lines to make our tree look more realistic. We will be adding more lines, also black oil and pastel, to our cardinal. We will be adding an eye, and then we will go in at the very end with white paint and add snow on the trees as well as snowflakes falling from the sky. The first thing I want you to do is, with your black oil pastel, I want you to bring some texture into your trees. I don't want you to outline the trees, but I do want you to kind of go along the tree. Notice I'm only coloring on the brown part, the brown paint. I'm not coloring at all on the blue paper. If anything, you want to overlap a little bit more. There, with the light you'll be able to see it a little bit better. And I'm just going to underline, kind of, and trace some parts, not all of them. Again, you're not tracing all of it, just kind of outlining or going around some of it. Then in the branches, I want you to add some texture lines to make it look more like a tree. Now, we don't want to do too many, so it looks like there's a bunch of worms crawling over it or anything. But we will add some texture lines. Go ahead. Next, we're going to add details in our bird. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to go over your pencil lines with oil pastel for your legs. That's very important. We want to make sure our bird looks like it's standing. Then I want to trace my bird, and for the same thing, I want to go right over the red paint. I don't want to go on the blue paper at all. I'm going to trace around, taking my time, going nice and slow. I'm going to go on the beak as well. Next, I am going to add the lines for the feathers, for the wings. If you can see them, you can just copy right over them. Again, we have a triangle down the middle and then one little line here. And then I think I'm going to add some feather lines so it looks a little bit more realistic. The final step of the bird is to add the eye. We don't want to forget the eye. So with a white color pencil, all I want you to do is do a little dot for the eye. Next, we are ready to make snow. You can see that we are going to put some snow piles on the tree. Notice how they're only on the top of the tree. They're not here at the bottom, because that's where they would sit and land. Then we will do snowflakes around the blue paper. At your table, you will get a white cup of paint, and when I say go, you will grab a white cup of paint and a Q-tip. Now, I want to make sure that no one's hands get paint on them, and that's because we're only using one side of the Q-tip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip it in the paint, and I don't need a lot of paint, just a little bit. And I'm going to start placing and putting little spots where there might be snow. Now, I don't want big globs of snow. Don't want it to look messy. I don't want them all around the tree either, just little places around. I have just a few of those. Next, we are ready to do the snowflakes, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take the same Q-tip, the same side, and I'm going to dip it in the paint and put dots for snowflakes as if the snow are falling around my artwork. Don't want to do too many. Just spread them apart. Have some at the top, some at the bottom. You can even have some going over your branch a little bit as if it were falling in front of your branch. Then we are done with our winter cardinal scene.